One of the things we all love about the Firefly Funhouse is it's shrouded with mystery. We can sit and we can theorize and we can work out what is going on. And recently on Things You Might Have Missed, I asked you guys what you thought was going on with this box. The box that we've seen Alexa Bliss using in the Firefly Funhouse, seemingly to summon back the Fiend. And boy, my comment section went crazy. And a lot of you all said the same thing, and I've looked into it. I think you're right. But in this video, we are going to be looking at a movie that is rated 18+. If scenes like that may offend you, you may not want to watch this video. I'm not going to go into gory detail, but you've been warned. Now, the movie in question is Hellraiser, and you can quite clearly see from the poster of this movie a box in this monster's hand. Let's call him that to start the video. But of course, this box is known as the Lament configuration. The box itself is basically a key. It unlocks doors to other worlds, to sensations that you've never experienced before, pain and pleasure. It is also the key to summon the Xenonites. You kind of go through all the sensations of heaven and hell, and then, of course, the Xenonites appear. These are beings that have sort of transcended pain and pleasure and now can no longer decipher the difference between the two. Seemingly immortal beings set only on pain and pleasure and deriving that to whoever reaches the stage of the Lament configuration box. And the box isn't unique. It's kind of based on the story of Pandora's box. Of course, Pandora's box was never meant to be opened. But when it was opened, it unleashed horrors unlike anything seen before on the entire world. So we could even kind of link it maybe back to there. But we kind of know Bray Wyatt is a massive horror buff. And you got to believe Hellraiser could potentially be one of his favourite films and therefore be based on this. Now, in the movie Hellraiser that was released in 1987, you can clearly see a girl basically use the box to send those Xenonites back to once they came. But the best thing about that is obviously roles reversed. If she went through the puzzle box, she would eventually unlock the Xenonites again and they will come back. Now, the story started with this. And believe it or not, this is a human being. This is Frank, okay? Frank basically remetabolized after blood was spilt on the floor. And he basically came back to being a real life person. He played with the box. He basically got ripped apart at the very start of the movie and he came back looking for more. To regain a body and the flesh that's needed to sustain it, basically he got his ex-lover to basically recruit men into the house and basically kill them and spill their blood, meaning he could grow more and more skin, his nerves could reattach, his muscles could grow stronger, and of course this is sick. But it's the relationship between Frank and his ex-lover that really interested me when watching the film. Because obviously we know the relationship between Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was seemingly a very innocent person, happily going about her life and her career in WWE until the Fiend hit her with a mandible claw. And we've always wondered why and how Alexa Bliss seemingly tamed the Fiend, seemingly fell in love with the Fiend on that random second encounter that they had back on SmackDown. Maybe this makes sense when you look back at Hellraiser and you see the experience that Frank had with his partner. He showed her heaven, so she went to hell for him. And she did unspeakable things, including murdering people, simply to restore the one she loved. No offense, Frank, but you definitely look better the first time. And we've seen that before in the Funhouse with Alexa Bliss. Of course, Alexa Bliss was, again, that very happy WWE superstar, very normal. Now she's killing Rambling Rabbit. Now she's got her own playground and she's demented, trying to bring back the Fiend. And yes, of course, WWE are not presenting this as a love story, so to speak, between Alexa and the Fiend. But it kind of does draw a really close parallel with the relationship between Frank and his former lover, eternal lover, in Hellraiser. So maybe when Alexa Bliss finally gets to that final stage of the box, the evil is released, much like Pandora's box. You open the box finally happens, and evil comes down on the world. This time in WWE, the evil that will reign across the world is the Fiend. But I know what you're thinking. You're saying, see, why is this box so special? Why is this box the one that could unlock the mysteries of what Alexa Bliss is holding in her hands? Yes, Alexa's box is very different, but on Hellraiser, there's something even more vital that does tie in with the Fiend's story, and it's a good one. When the Cenobites appear, they use seemingly a mandible claw. They shove their fingers down the person's throat to shut them up, to silence them. Come on. It can't be that Bray Wyatt maybe needed the mandible claw to do the same thing, to inflict that pain and suffering, and to maybe take that person to heaven or hell, depending which way he wanted to change them. Much like the Cenobites do in Hellraiser. The clue to this could be looking at who's been to the Firefly Funhouse. Seth Rollins changed dramatically, seemingly for the worse, evil. Braun Strowman, again, he definitely changed for the worse, evil. John Cena definitely changed. We haven't seen him since, but we saw him change multiple times, including a heel turn in the Firefly Funhouse match. Finn Balor kind of turned evil, but at the same time stayed the same awesome Finn Balor we've always known and loved. He kind of always bucked the trend, right? Daniel Bryan kind of bucked the trend because he didn't have a Messiah gimmick after encountering the Fiend. Why? Maybe because the Fiend took them to some kind of heaven like Kevin Owens rather than hell like Seth Rollins. It does make you question, like, if that's the case, if that's true, if you can do different things, what's going to happen to Randy Orton? Right now, you got to think Randy Orton's in some kind of hell. Obviously, he's changed. He's suffered the mandible claw. He's visited the funhouse. Right now, his mind is occupied. Right now, he's being voodoo witched by Alexa Bliss, as AJ Styles called it on Raw. And you got to wonder what that long-term change could be for Randy Orton. Is he going to end up being a good guy or a really bad guy? We just don't know yet. Now, one of the biggest mysteries of the Funhouse has always been, where is it? We don't know. And the fun thing is, people have been there but never actually said how or where it was, how they got there, or any of that jazz. Instead, it's always remained a mystery. But in the film Hellraiser, we saw this love scene. We've already discussed it once, but the important, crucial part of this was it was a memory from years before. And yes, that is the old Frank before he got skinned alive by the Cenobites. But nonetheless, this was triggered when Frank's ex-lover walked into a room. Unbeknown to her, Frank's essence was underneath the floorboards. We've seen that on Raw with Alexa Bliss. Remember when Nikki Cross found her backstage on Raw, and of course she was evil Alexa Bliss for the very first time, but she had a smile on her face. This is very different to the evil Alexa Bliss we've come to know now. Why does she smile? Maybe here she was in the Firefly Funhouse to start with. The Firefly Funhouse is a safe place. It's a happy place. The walls are blue, there's happy little puppets everywhere, and of course it's that place where anything goes and you can laugh, you can smile and play limbo to your heart's content. But maybe it's not real. Maybe in that image, Alexa Bliss was backstage on Raw, she was in the Firefly Funhouse in her mind, because that's what Bray Wyatt wanted her to believe. And maybe the boxes are the key to unlocking this massive mystery. Maybe the boxes unleash the Fiend. Well, the box Alexa's holding anyway. Don't think the Fiend's going to be making a cameo appearance in Hellraiser. Although, Bray, if you watch this video, dude, please do, because that would be really, really cool. But as I mentioned at the start of this video, it's really fun because this was basically based off the comment section of things you might have missed. So freaking many of you commented it. I wish I could give you all a shout out. We'd be here for another 20 minutes. I swear to God, there was loads. So obviously I did watch the film under your recommendations, and 100% blew my mind to see other things you could draw parallels with and not just the box. But I'd love to know your thoughts, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like the video, share the video, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I will see you as always next time. Unless you follow me on Twitter at CWrestlingUK first. Peace!